What's going on, guys? Your boy Mason. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, I'm going to be showcasing to you guys the brand new Queen Elizabeth on the SKOLL and HATI Demonic Beast battle, guys. So in this video, we actually did rock the full goddess team here, just kind of like we did when we did the bird and the deer. This is kind of the setup that we actually went here, guys, with the character running the green Elat, LR Margaret, Queen Elizabeth, and then Mael. And I do actually have the video clip already here recorded for the actual team setup and all of that. So I do think I actually do show the gear and the card set and all that. So we do have the basic stat card set, guys, where it increases the basic stats by 10%, and then also when you're at 5 ultimate move gauge, it makes it you immune to freeze, which is going to be great on the actual demonic beast for the SKOLL and HATI. And then for the actual gear here, as you guys can see, it's kind of the exact same setup. You know, attack crit Mael, attack crit Queen Liz. We are going to be running HP defense Margaret, and then triple defense on the Elat right there, guys. So let's hop in and let's discuss the run here when we actually did the SKOLL and HATI run. So yeah, SKOLL and HATI was one of the demonic beasts where I knew it was doable without having THONAR, but it was one of those demonic beasts where it's like it's very, very hard. One thing that I will say that Queen Liz has that's really good tech is that she has cancel stance on her stun on her single target, because it becomes a stun and cancel stance card when you do have the 4 goddess wraths, right? So if you're able to get those goddess wraths, Queen Elizabeth's going to be great because she's going to be able to actually stun the character or stun the dark dog to remove the stance, which is going to be great. As you guys can see, look at her AoE damage, man. Look at that. She just did 400k, which is a lot more damage than Mael actually did right there. And considering, you know, her being a character that doesn't have like a built-in grace like Mael with the damage dealt, she was hitting very, very hard there, right? So that's really good. So right here, guys, Mael is actually getting targeted. I should have put Elat on the far left because she had the Tarnia link, but Mael was the one getting targeted. It might have been a good scenario that I actually put Mael there, because later in the fight, you'll see that Mael starts to take a lot more damage. But yeah, right here, guys, we do go for the heal, and then we start following up with the damage with Mael on the AoE. We go for the Mael single target rank 2, which should be able to do the damage cap that we need, and then the follow-up Elizabeth, which actually does finish off the dog right there, and we move into the next phase. Very, very good stuff, man. I mean, you guys can see Queen Elizabeth on SKOLL and HATI. She might actually like have a place on SKOLL and HATI at the very least, because I do think the cancel stance is very clutch, and because it doesn't require you to have like an actual cancel stance like effect on the card, it's just part of her passive. It's not like, you know, it's going to be something that she does just like, you know, part of her skill, which I think it's good that it's part of her passive because it's not, you know, reliant on the skill effect itself, and she has like actual good skill effects to do damage when she needs to. So yeah, right there we do the double single target, follow up with the AoE. Look how much that does, 469k. So that's like already a lot of damage, and we one phase the dark dog right there on the first floor. Moving into the final phase here, guys, where we have the double ultimates with Mael and you know, Queen Elizabeth right there. It's going to be a walk in the park here, man. We just dropped the double ult, and I do drop the ult with Liz first just to see how much it does, and then follow up Mael, but I have 6/6 Mael, so regardless of if, you know, any of the dogs lived here from this ultimate, they were going to die from the Mael ultimate as well, guys, remember, right? Because Mael had 6 out of 6 anyway, and so I can apply the great debuffs on both the dogs right there. But yeah, that's floor 1 right there, guys. Let's move into the floor 2 run. So floor 2 here does start to take a little bit more time, because the other run right there is where we have no damage cap. You can just one bang all the dogs, right? Because we had the ultimate, we were able to do that. On this phase right here, guys, we don't have the ignite immunity like we usually do on other you know, teams here that you run SKOLL and HATI, because we're not running Freyr or Green Melascula. We actually have to save the Margaret buff card for whenever we get the ignites on it, so that we can actually cleanse those debuffs. So right here, I actually go for the Margaret AoE. We follow up with the AoE with Liz, and then also Mael AoE and attack with Elat. One thing I gotta remember to do as well is I gotta remember to do the attacks with the other characters first before I attack with Liz, because I think you know, the goddess wrath effect of us doing that is gonna be benefiting Liz as we do these skills. And you know, one thing as well that I noticed is that Elat patience there, but it still gave the goddess wrath effect to Elizabeth, so you don't actually have to land the attacking skill, you just have to actually use it, which I think is a good effect right there when actually, you know, running this demonic beast battle, and even just in general, right? Just knowing that. So yeah, I go for the buff card with Margaret right there. We follow up AoE, go for the double single target with Mael, and I'm like, okay, well, I can stall and actually do the cancel stance with Liz anyway, because I do have a single target with her that I haven't used yet, right? So I go for the double single target with Mael right here to do as much chip damage as we can. As we're about to go into the next phase, we just need another like damaging skill to actually move us in. And honestly, I probably could have just finished him off right there with the Elizabeth single target, which I could have done. But I decided to otherwise to just like heal up and buff up as well, just to keep our stats going. But yeah, I mean, regardless, guys, like the team is super stat beefy, right? We don't have too many issues with like tanking the hits and all of that. So yeah, right here we go for the Margaret buff card. And we do actually run the cancel stance with Liz because we have the max goddess wrath, follow up AoE, and then single target again with Liz, and that's gonna make it so that we remove the stance, we follow up with the AoE damage because of the flood on the AoE or the rage, and then we do the single target with Elizabeth to follow up to make sure we get the kill. And yeah, I mean, guys, look at the Elizabeth's damage, man. Very good stuff right here for the showing for Elizabeth. I think she is doing really good for, you know, what it is, right? I think this is definitely a really good showcase so far. Right here, loading into the phase 2 right here, guys. We do get rank 2 sealed right there, and I'm like, okay, well, we probably are not gonna kill this turn, so we might have to do a little bit of stalling right here, which is not the worst thing in the world. But we drop the LR Margaret ultimate. We drop the Mael AoE right there as well, guys, and then we do the AoE with Elizabeth, and that's going to do a really good chunk of damage right there to kind of make sure that the dog is a little bit lower on HP. I was attack related lowered with Elizabeth there, so she didn't do like a super insane amount of damage, but it was still good. And then right here we do have the ultimate with her, and so the Dark Dog is attacking Mael. Follows up with the AoE infect, but because we do have the cleanse with Margaret and also the heal card with Elad as well, I think that was definitely like a very clutch, you know, kind of card draw that we actually got from the last turn. So right here we do the Margaret buff card and actually make sure we get Elad ultimate as I drop the ultimate with Liz to make sure we finish off and move into the next phase. Because you guys can see the HP on the boss was a little bit less than 30% and the damage cap is 30. So I was like, okay, I can drop ultimate. That's going to do guaranteed damage cap. Boom. He dies and we move into the next phase. So boom. Right there we do have the Elad ultimate as well, so I can actually drop that ultimate. That's going to cleanse all of us, and then because of that we're not going to be getting frozen. So right there Mael does get frozen, but because I have the Elad ultimate, it cleanses everybody, it removes all the debuffs, and I'm like, okay, let's focus down the white dog, because the white dog is the one that's applying the ignites, right? If we kill the white dog, then we don't have to deal with the ignites, and we can actually focus down the dark dog fairly easily. So right there I do the double single target with Mael. It's going to do a good chunk of damage right there, guys. So look at that. Boom, 300k. AoE from Liz. This is with max Goddess Wrath with the 50% attack rate stats. Look how much damage I did. 610k AoE. That's really good. And then obviously on this phase of SKOLL and HATI, you do get completely buff stripped, but you don't get ignited though. So you don't get the ignites because the buff stripped, you know, the ignites apply before the auto buff strip from the bosses. So because of that, we didn't get ignited that turn, which is great. And then right here, I dropped the Mael ultimate, which is gonna finish off the white dog. And so now we can kind of focus down the black dog on the left. And so what I do is I go for the heal. And then Mael ultimate kills the white dog right there, applies the gray sunspots because I'm 6 out of 6. Boom, so he dies. And then we just start ripping all our cards here into the dark dog just to kind of like, you know, lower his HP, right? We don't have an Elizabeth card right here, so I wasn't able to do crazy damage, and I did get frozen as well. Not that the freeze mattered because we didn't have any cards or anything, but, you know, because we didn't have maximum ultimate move gauge, we do get frozen there. And then he follows up with the AoE. So we buff up with Margaret right there, guys. We go for the heal with Elad, go for the single target Mael, and then the AoE Margaret. So right here, I'm in a position where he's gonna probably get the revive because this is floor 2 of SKOLL and HATI. So he does have the revive effect where if you attack him, I think it's like 5 times. He does eventually get that revive buff right there, which is gonna be a little bit annoying. So he does get it right there. We proc the revive with Margaret right there, and then I'm like, okay, we're in a pretty good position to finish off the fight and you know, clear with full HP, which is good, right? So he goes for the extort right there, and I was thinking like this is gonna do a lot of damage because he extorted my stats, right? But boom, look, he does no damage because that's because Mael had the 3 damage reduction stacks on him. So we, regardless of him extorting us, we took no damage right there. So we buff up with Margaret, and right here getting the heal as we drop the ultimate, we're actually gonna finish off the fight and move into the next floor right there with completely full HP, guys. Very good setup right here with this team, and I think it was really strong. There's a really good showing of what this team's capable of. So this is Elizabeth on the rank 2 Fury card, and this is AoE damage, remember. So boom, look at that, 357. That's damage cap on an AoE skill, guys. Very, very strong showing right there from Queen Elizabeth on the second floor. Let's hop into the last floor here. Alright guys, so moving into the floor 3 here, let's see what this team is able to do. Like, bro, I'm telling you guys right now, this Queen Elizabeth, bro, shocked me on specifically SKOLL and HATI versus the other demonic beasts. Like, the other ones shocked me as well, but this one really shocked me because I was like, okay, she's dealing damage cap with AoE skills on these bosses, and SKOLL and HATI is not a walk in the park nowadays, especially if you don't have THONAR, right? So if you're not running THONAR and you gotta set up like this, you know, you can actually beat SKOLL and HATI and actually farm it with this team. It's not a team where you actually, like, you know, aren't consistent. I think this team is a fairly consistent team actually for the clears, because you have the cancel stance, you have the damage dealt, that you pretty much have everything that you would need on SKOLL and HATI. The only thing that you might lack is you know, healing, and then maybe the units themselves, because Elat is a fairly exclusive character. She just released before the Queen Elizabeth, and a lot of people did skip her, so you know, there is that at the very least. And then right there, we are taking a lot of damage now that we're getting ignited, because the boss actually does more damage on ignited you know, enemies, right? So right there, he starts to do a lot more damage. Right here, I was like, okay, do I wait for the stance? I decided to wait, but it was definitely a situation where I could have you know, I think killed right there, guys. You'll see the amount of damage that I do with the team here. I probably could have killed, but I wanted to make sure that we were around like full HP going into the next phase. So right here, I didn't actually go for the kill, and I waited so I could do the stance removal the following turn. But look how much the AoE did, 724k, and then Mael right there does a lot of damage on the AoE for him. And yeah, I mean, the boss is very, very close to dying here, so we're in a very, very good position. And one thing too as well that it really helps is that Mael is applying the damage reduction you know, debuffs from Sunspot on the Dark Dog, which still does matter for lowering the enemy's you know, damage to us, right? Which is obviously a very, very good effect. So right here, I do the single target with Liz to cancel stance, and then I'm like, okay, let's do the gauge reduction with Elat, let's do the AoE with Margaret, and then follow up single target. So I actually didn't go for the heal. I'm surprised. I thought I would have went for the heal right there, but we do go for the gauge reduction, and then the follow up with the AoE, and then single target with Elizabeth. So yeah, the single target with Elizabeth, obviously with all these goddess wraths, boom, one bang him, and we move into the next phase. Damage cap, by the way, 303k, very, very good stuff. And then moving into this phase right here, we do have the Margaret ultimate. We do get frozen on Eli right there, so it's not really the perfect circumstance for us, but we still are in a very good position. So I go for the Margaret ult, AoE with Elizabeth, AoE with Margaret, and then I'm like, okay, do I go for the Elizabeth single target or do I do Mael? I was kind of thinking, but I think I decided on the Mael. So we go for the Margaret ultimate, boom, it does 350k, that's damage cap, block affects the white dog right there. So the AoE right here with Elizabeth is close to a damage cap. It is 695, so that's still really good. And then, yeah, the AoE does for Margaret is only like 300k, and then Miles single target is going to hit the damage cap at 320, so right there, the boss is very, very low. The freeze actually does land again on Elat, which is fine, you know. I didn't really care who the freeze was landing on, unless it was like Margaret, because she is the one cleansing. And right there, as you guys can see, because we block affected the white dog, his debuffs are not actually applying on us, which is really good, because it allows us to be in a position where we can, you know, kind of deal with the enemies fairly easily. So right here, I was like, okay, this is going to be a way we can get ultimate on Liz and also on Elat. So if we do the heal card and the single target and then the gauge reduction, that is going to be a really good position right there. So right as we do the single target, boom, we one bang him, and then we move into the next phase where we have ultimate with Liz, and we also have ultimate with Elat, which is great, right? Because of the fact that the boss can also apply you know, the ignites on us, which is going to be a little bit annoying. It actually is a pretty big benefit that we have the ult with Elat. So right there, guys, I'm like, okay, let's drop the ult with Elizabeth. Let's do the attack cards. And I actually decided to opt out of using Elat's cards right there, because I wanted to kill the white dog first. Because I was like, okay, we definitely have the damage with the single targets. Look how much Elizabeth's doing, 370k. And then we lose the goddess wrath, we rebuild, 370k on the rank 2 again. And then Miles single target actually does finish off the boss right there, guys. But yeah, man, goes to show that, like, even the team, even with, you know, being in a situation like that, we were still fairly good with survivability. And the damage we deal with Elizabeth is just crazy. You know, bearing in mind, this is no THONAR, right? There's no THONAR on you know, SKOLL and HATI here, and we're dealing damage cap like it's nothing. Elizabeth is just super, super strong, and so because of that, I was like, okay, I don't even need to Eli you know, ult here. I can just start damaging him with all my damaging cards since we add them. So yeah, Mile ultimate is gonna do damage cap. We follow up with the Liz single target. That's gonna be damage cap 383, and then Mile single target, which is actually going to finish him off right there. So very, very good stuff, guys. I think think the showing of Elizabeth on SKOLL and HATI probably is her best demonic beast, compared to the other two that we did with Deer and the Bird. I think her best showing was actually on SKOLL and HATI, because we got to see the cancel stance, and we also got to see her damage being just instant damage counts every single time. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of the Queen Elizabeth on SKOLL and HATI, guys. I definitely think she's one of the better characters, at least DPS wise, on this fight. And because THONAR is actually human, you could run THONAR alongside Elizabeth. I just wanted to run the full Gods team to see how I was able to perform, and it actually performed fairly well. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. That's going to be it for the video, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out, and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.